Hello and welcome to Nerds Declassified Anime Survival Guide. I'm Roka Roberts here with Maxwell Spencer and Joey Jennings.
Yo.
So today we just finished watching Takt Destinies. Our plan for today is we're gonna knock out the first three episodes of Takt, so that we can catch up to where we're currently at, and then we can start releasing it weekly, along with the anime release. So
Yes.
we just finished watching episode 1. What's up, guys? What did you think?
Dude, I love it. Super cool. I really liked it. I thought how the music is incorporated is great. I like the art, the artistic choices that they made. I thought this was very good.
Yeah. I liked the multiple art styles. Like, I feel that in other animes I've watched, I haven't seen as much of like bending with the art style. You know, like they do that a lot in American cartoons, but like you don't see it. Anime is so usually rigid. Very,
very reminiscent of like playing like an old school turn by turn video game with all the fights.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it was actually like turn by turn.
The typical, like, you hit me, now let talk and then hit you back.
Yeah, but all animes kind of like that, like pretty much.
To a certain extent, but yeah, this one just felt different. Like it hit, I don't know why, it hit home for me. I was like, it almost felt like I was kind of playing like Final Fantasy.
And you're like, okay, like that's why I like it, right? Like that.
Yeah.
I think that's just because turn-based stuff has like really good stories, and I'm pretty invested in this one as far as to their relationship, who these characters are, how this world came to be. But also if they don't like explain too much of it, I'm fine with that too. I'm sure they will though.
Yeah, the intro was a little weird. It threw a whole lot of information in there, but it still left a lot to be desired.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, so all of a sudden there was these fucking fortune things where everybody was like, you know, like the yellow stars came down first, and like that's where these music cards like came to, I believe that's what it said. Okay. And then like after a little bit of living with that, then the dark crystal creatures come down, and then
Oblivion
really don't like the music of the humans and stuff. So that's, I guess, like the music just died over time, because it's the characters at that time, like it seems like the older generation knew what it was, which is cool because the year is 2047, which is a really cool thing because most animes are like some made up time in the past, or like 1,000 years in the future or something. This one, like, 20 years from now, like, is that gonna happen to us? So like I think that's cool, but the older generation knew, but like younger generation was like, what is music? Like, what is this piano in this thing? Like,
so what you're saying is that this is Footloose the anime.
Yes. Yeah, I think that
I'm gonna be with you guys. Hot take: I've never seen Footloose.
Oh no! Max doesn't understand any reference that is in other anime.
All right, looks like we're putting Max in the corner.
Oh man,
we were talking just one more thing about the beginning part. It's like kind of paper animated, and it's like a little bit of a flashback, but like it basically like does it say that the music arts are there to grant wishes? Are they genies?
I'm not entirely sure. I would want to watch that intro.
Yeah. I
feel like we don't know enough yet. They kind of left it bland. They explained just enough to get you like, okay, this is where the world is.
Yeah, so they hit you with it pretty fast for sure. But I mean, you have to do that, with anime. You have to just be like, okay, and awesome action scenes, which were really intense. Obviously, like really good.
When she transforms into the thing, when he sacrifices his arm and transforms, and she throws him the character wand, Well,
That was so cool.
I love that anime, like Catch, like let's fucking do this, you know? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm here for too. I wonder as to what their nationality
awesome.
is. He looks Japanese, but the other two could be because they're in America in this show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're we know that they're going on their way to New York. The other thing I wanted to kind of piggyback and wrap back to how this is like a video game, and I think all anime and video games are very closely linked as far as like, you know, like most shonen anime is just like you level up all the way until you can face the final boss, you know.
It seems like the powers are new to them too, because they must not have had them long. I'm interested to see how they get them powers.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm curious about her. Like, what is her deal? Like, is she a robot? Is she half robot, half human?
Yeah,
there was that little cut scene where it looked like she was dying, and then gets. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, what is her deal, and why is she eating so much food? I get that she needs to fuel up, but like, how does? I
don't think she's human.
She's powered by calories. I think she might be.
I don't think she's human. I think that a music heart has like inhabited her body or whatever, and then she's just like driving around because she's complaining about like, why do humans need so many calories?
Yeah.
But then she's like snacking all the time. But also, as far as like it being very video game like, another thing is whenever he gives her his power, like he arms her basically by giving her his arm. He arms.
So that must be the
see what you did there. Like he literally arms her, and then a little. Like every time plays when it like he's using an ability or something like that, you know, like in a video game.
The thing that I'm looking forward to in the show with this is, since they're going to New York, they're going to be going across the country. And within that, they're going to run into so many different styles of music per area they're in, you know? Like, think about it. They managed to have to, like, we don't know where they're at really because the map kind of looks scuffed, but they could like have to pass through Louisiana or something. So like, what if like they get like a really jazzy, like influence type, like episode, you know, thing where like, that's the music that they're throwing down, you know?
Well, yeah, we'll see. I think that mostly like they just use in this first episode, they just used classical music that's, you know, in the public domain, so see, I
didn't know that was.
Sure, they're gonna write some of their own. Like, you know, there's definitely a score to the.
I'll say this right now: if I don't hear at least one fight with Busta Rhymes, I don't care about the rest of the show.
That'd be pretty great, dude.
Where's Busta Rhymes
as long
from?
as it's not MGK.
Where's Busta Rhymes from?
I don't know. I don't care. I just want to see her just scarf down a donut and then just start just busting it out.
And just some fast rap and everything.
Woo! Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. I'm expecting to see one fight where it's like, because they've already kind of set that up with like the multi hit things, but I'm expecting to see something where it's like superpower, and then she like launches him up into the air and then like hits him like 30 times as they're going up and then smacks him down.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm
expecting they're gonna get more abilities and stuff. I don't know. Not every anime is one of those animes that it's like, okay, I have to say this thing that I'm doing now, and then I do it like this, like, you know. Demon Slayer or like Inuyasha or whatever, like it can be like done well, but
it's interesting. I like how that they're choosing for the combat, everything. It looks like she's a sword and a gun as well, like a rifle type.
It can morph into whatever, right? I think that it's
so
just
it'll be interesting to see if she gets like other type things. Will she like be able to switch to a dual wield in the future? Like, that would be cool.
Yeah, I'm sure she's going to be able to level up.
Are there other music carts that they're going to encounter? That would also be cool to see what other type of things. And
we're
the
for
music
sure
cart
saying now they will encounter other music arts, no doubt.
I was actually wondering about that, since they can kind of transform their stuff a little bit. Are we going to see some double up powers? You know, kind of like Transformers with like the smaller bots linking up with the bigger bots. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, what? Interesting.
Remember
like not out of the realm.
Wouldn't that be super cool though? Or like.
What, like you double arm one music art? Is that what you're saying? Like 2 arms?
Yeah, or I'm saying like if there's 2 music arts in the same vicinity, if one composer can like donate and make one super music art, you know what I mean? Like a mega.
Maybe they won't combine, but maybe since is a maestro, isn't like the conductor type thing to this fighting scenario. Like, could he conduct? That brings me to this point that I want to bring up is like, it seems that he's very interested into the piano. That is what he is constantly doing. It seems like he's a piano player. So other music carts where it's like a violin player was the person that came out, are like, it'll be interesting to see what other instruments people like have used to bind, or like, are you know, there
has to be
I'm looking forward to seeing that. So it'll be cool to see if maybe
he's got a kazoo.
You know,
he's got what's the name of that flute from what's the name of the flute from Power Rangers where he summons the fucking the bots.
It's the
really just
triangle, man.
Oh, man. You know that TikTok where the dude's playing, where it's like Lizzo playing the flute, That's
no, dude, the better one is when it's Link using his own that video.
I really hope that they do go to Louisiana though.
Yeah,
because I just want to see, but not like not the fun parts of Louisiana. I'm talking like the sketchy swamp parts, and I just want to see some redneck with a banjo playing and summoning one of these things.
Card, that would be cool.
Yeah, but the animation was definitely top tier. And what was interesting at first is that it's CG, but they've kind of found out how to incorporate anime and CG a lot better than like compared to, like, some other shows.
Berserker and Fate Zero back in the day. Like, I don't know if you guys seen that, but that's like, it's all animated, and then there's CG Berserker, and it's like, oh my, like,
I mean, he purposely looks weird. I'm thinking of like shows like Kingdom or like Berserk 2016 or whatever, you know. Like really, like, or even they had like a Netflix one too. Something was on Netflix where it is a similar thing going on, but this looks like a lot smoother, and the animation is just like, oh my gosh, it's just absolutely fire. So cool.
Yeah, it is.
The focus
I really like
of when she blows up. They have this fight at the end against this power she wasn't originally strong enough to defeat, but he comes over and like baits it out basically by playing music, and she flings one of its like minions behind him, and an explosion happens, and in the foreground you see him with his arm like missing because he literally arms her. He gives her his arm, conducting, you know, while this fucking, and it switches the focus to him, you know, like really, really good stuff.
That's interesting. I'm excited to see this.
Yeah. My other question, I guess, going forward, I'm sure maybe we'll figure it out, but what are the rules of the damage thing to him? Like, is he giving her his like life force?
Yeah. I was just gonna ask about that.
Yeah,
because I remember watching
when she took damage, he had the red come up his shoulder into
neck, and she's dressed in red, which I like. It's like he's literally giving her his flesh. I'm thinking of like the weirdest instruments. Oh no! It's the Rain Shaker music card.
Some guy comes rolling through with
a bitch. It's a didgeridoo.
Like, oh, guy would be high.
I would be too. Like, if didgeridoos in this show. I ride with didgeridoo, dude.
Oh my god, he's got a milk jug.
He's got an upside down bucket. Dun, 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 dun.
Bender washboard stomach with a microphone.
Yeah. Yeah, this show's definitely fun. Highly recommend it. Anything else we want to say before we're moving on?
No, I'm good. I'm ready to see.
I honestly just like
2.
my big takeaway is that this is a really good anime, and I'm just excited to see what happens. But but you know, like I do want to hear any predictions or any guesses of what you guys think is going to happen.
We will end it there and move on to episode 2 if we're all ready to go.
Are we not doing predictions?
Okay, yeah, sure. What's predictions? What do you got? I mean, we already heard Max's predictions. He predicts that by area the music will change.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
That guy that plays the band type action, you know?
Yeah.
Well, maybe not, because the bad guys are the enemies and not the music arts. So scratch that idea.
Yeah, sorry, the D2s or whatever. Also, like whenever you have like a monster enemy squad, it's hard to like, you know, maybe will there be any good villains? You know, we'll have to see.
Joey, what's your prediction?
I think that we're gonna find out that this half robot music art thing is going to it was a real person that died, and that's why she keeps calling her the other girl keeps calling her sister. So I think that was actually her little sister. I think her little sister died, and something happened where she got turned into whatever this is.
She granted his wish or whatever. I don't know if they're wish granters or what it is. They're fairies, basically.
Yeah,
that's the way that we're drawn in the beginning, at least. But I have a prediction that it's going to be more classical music, actually, because they don't have to pay copyright.
For sure.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know that was a thing. So, you know, you learn something new every day.
Yeah. I think they're probably going to stick to a lot of classical music, but I think we're going to hear a nice range of it. Mm-hmm. And I think we might see a few different genres when we start getting closer to New York and we start seeing some other music arts. But I think at least for the first few episodes, while we're only focused on this guy and his music art, I think we're going to only hear classical music.
Okay.
Makes sense.
All right. Sounds good. Okay. Well, that was episode 1. We're going to go on to episode 2, folks. Let's see if we were right. See you there. And we're back after watching episode 2. Yeah. Pick it right up from where, I mean, kind of, it's not picking right up from where it left off. It went into the past. And
picking up right where it left off 10 years ago.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, it started 10 years ago, but then it was like that year. So not much has happened since so Max was right that they were new to the whole thing.
I'm not sure how new it seems like they are and stuff. It seems like they kind of got it figured out a little bit now, but
yeah.
Also,
yeah. But
wow. Wow.
Yeah, explains why they need to go to New York because so I like the thing that I want to talk about most is what kind of relationship does the military I guess I'm going to call them the military, right? I mean, how should we refer to them, guys?
They just seem to be like the sort of like military governing like authority figure.
The music police.
The music police? They literally are. Yeah. Do you think that the music police knew what was going to happen?
I was literally just thinking about that. I was wondering, like, it's convenient that he left right before.
That blonde hair dude, he's like, hey,
he's totally evil.
Isn't it just awesome seeing people enjoying themselves? It's textbook, like, hey, I'm about to fuck you guys up. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, I know what's coming.
There's
conveniently, the D2s show up after they stop playing music.
Yep.
You know, like
You're
after the people leave.
Too convenient. We should be suspicious of them. Definitely.
Yeah, for the sake of just being less predictable, I really hope that he's not the bad guy and that like it turns out that he's the good guy. But like They set it up so that he could so easily beat the bad guy. Like, it's a little too obvious.
And he looks like the bad guy, right? Like, totally. and just though, I could just tell by the way the other guy was talking that guy was evil, for sure. Definitely gonna be evil.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what sort of part the humans have playing into this thing, into this phenomenon of the yellow stones or the black stones. And
what about the Rolling Stones?
The Rolling Stones? Yeah, what about the Rolling Stones? What about it?
You're right. I'm sure they'll touch base on it about season 3.
He did get kind of peppy though with it. Like it wasn't like this. He plays the piano according to the mood or whatever. But yeah.
I think it was really cool that like she had the stone. That was like how they incorporated that into the story. How they were able to like.
Was that given to her by her mother?
Yes.
Okay. Did she? I know she mentioned talking. She was talking about her mom while she was
gripping stone and looking at it all giddy.
Yeah.
So clearly her mom, the French like awesome piano player. Interesting to see what happened to her mom. I wonder if they'll ever cover that.
Can we even call that? Because that was Cosette, right? And now we have the music art. Cosette.
The music art is. What happened was his life force, his arm was just like the equal exchange. Top of the stone that she had, the light stone, allowed for the spirit to come out and like, use his life force to create the music art and like bring her back to life to a certain extent of being a music art.
So you're saying Cosette is alive?
Time. Yeah, she's back alive now. It was just with the power of that stone.
What is alive? Like her body's moving around.
That's what I was trying to figure out, because I think there's still aspects of her because they have the same they have a similar, kind of bubbly personality, but I'm wondering how much of her is actually in there. If she's dead and she's just basically being like, she's just like a meat puppet for this thing.
She's definitely not dead. She has her memories. She has her conscious. She
has her memories.
Weird because she's a music art, like half spirit, half cassette now.
Also, so
they did call him
it'll
Maestro,
be interesting to see.
Right? So that that would confirm to Max's thing that he has at least the memories. Whatever this being is, it has the memories of Cosette.
I don't think so. She acts with her sister is the same mannerisms that she acted with
Maestro.
her sister.
I was also like, did you notice how the music police brought up the fact?
Music police, like, we only gonna play the music that we like. Yeah, music police, music police.
Yes. Did you notice how they said we created these things?
They created them?
They said that we created these music arts.
Yeah, no, they said it was their kind of music art or whatever. Remember, they were like trying to like sell them off or create them. They're like, don't play any music until we can get out these music arts that the Saigon whatever thing has approved of.
I thought it made it sound like they were the ones that created these half human, half robot things that they're using to fight the.
No, it was the
D2s
that created that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it sounded like they claimed credit for that. But I
wonder if the D2s could possibly be like a failed experiment.
Possibly.
That's what I was thinking.
There's some sort of relationship. They said there was a truce. Why did they attack? They said there was a truce.
Who knows?
That was so weird.
I think that's the mission that they were talking about. They were probably on a peace mission that failed.
That could very well be it too. Because it seems like at this time they were still allowed to play music here and there type thing.
Yeah, like they
because there was music.
Apparently the festival was.
It must have been before there was a complete and total ban on that, and then that's when things went sour, and then it went into full lockdown.
He starts off by telling everybody that.
No, I thought those guys were like, oh, we still have our mission to take care of, but I thought that this was post music ban because the guy goes on the radio and he asks like, hey,
for sure.
He's
in his garage playing, and and he has soundproof equipment in his garage.
I think it was known. I think it was kind of play at your own risk type thing, and
you think it's
people
like
were
Prohibition
like, nah.
when they like first rolled it out? They're like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, you know, like we have it. We already have it, so it's fine.
But it's like most things where it's like play at your own risk, because obviously there's a traveling music group, you know, and everything, and so there's still music allowed. But then, like, after this incident, when things went south with whatever their mission is, possibly, that's when it went into, like, the full swing that we saw in episode 1, where it was, like, no music, you know? But then again, like, I could see that.
That's not how
because
I remember the development of it. I'm pretty sure he said he's like, do not play it unless we say so. And then at this festival, they're specifically allowing, I think it's the same company. They're like, look, it's the company, the Sagan company or whatever they're called, Sagan officers. They're holding this event. They're the ones who held the event, who said it's okay to play music here.
Yeah.
And then the D2s still attacked. So some shit fucking happened. But like, why would and they specifically, remember, they refused cassette and said
no. She went to somebody like,
you can't play your own music. You have to play our music or whatever.
Yeah, but she said something in the episode. I would go back and look it up if you just want to continue rolling stuff.
Yeah, dude, that's fine.
But I'm pretty sure she said she went to somebody that I think this music, I think the company may sponsor it as like their way of being like, we allow motherfuckers don't play music, you know? It was when they were talking earlier in the day.
They said anything would be fine, but changed their tune as soon as I mentioned the piano. You're not making any sense. The festival! Apparently, we're not allowed to play any music other than what the Symphonica has prepared. Even if it's all music in the end. So that Symphonica or whatever.
Where are you at? At 1403, so I went directly to the Symphonica.
1123.
Yeah, watch 1403. So I went directly to the Symphonica, and they instantly gave me the okay. So the Symphonica might be the company that's doing the performers that are performing these traveling festival. It might be sponsored by the
company. Okay.
By the company.
Sagan company, by the way, right?
Yeah. So she's
company with generals. Is that what we're doing?
It could be. Who knows? Because
so his father died though because he was playing music.
Yeah, when D2s had originally showed up 10 years ago. And they probably were like, hey, like, you don't want to play music because these things show up. And then the government's like, hey, songs are okay because they're probably in it for some, let's be real. I'm the skeptic that thinks everybody's the enemy.
By the way,
but the government,
the Sagan, that's the music police as well. So we're speculating if the Symphonica presented in the episode at that festival, the ones who held it, and the announcement we got at the beginning and that guy's status as a Grand Maestro are connected.
Yeah. Also, if you go back to
traveling performers, and then that company probably sponsors it as a way of like, hey, we'll allow this so that way people can still enjoy music and they won't play on their own. So like, we'll watch this, but we have songs that you can play. Type thing where it's like, we approve these things. And then Symphonica was like, nah, it's our thing with the people, the piano, let's get it out. The people are going to love that. It's going to make our festival a hit. So they rolled with it and did that. And maybe that's when the evil government
the evil guy literally says, please be extra careful to make sure that the citizens here are safe. Those guys are fucking evil as shit.
There's some tomfoolery going on for sure.
Those guys
definitely bad guys. Symphonica there's definitely some sketchiness going on with the Symphonica people.
Right? Like the way
Symphonica is traveling people.
No, the Symphonica is the government. I went back to, if you go back to 56, about 56 seconds, it says the music arts are created by the Symphonica, and they're talking about themselves.
Yeah, they're the Symphonica.
Yes.
So that is the Symphonica is the music police.
There are the evil music police.
Evil music police.
They are claiming credit for creating them.
And music arts?
Yes, they're saying that they created them.
They are the ones who created one. are the music arts that we, the Symphonica, created. Yeah.
Yep.
It could be that they have had access to those crystals, so they like, gonna give the Green Beret an option to become like music art over like me or Rook, So it's like it could be that they had the supply of the crystals that supply these things, these like powers and everything. And so they got to select who was there, so their creations, because it was their program that allowed for that. I like that. I don't know. I think that makes a lot of sense in my head, because it's like they could easily these D2s show up and attack, and all of a sudden they hold a monopoly on the gold crystals that were giving the original.
Okay, so the fairy things in the beginning are never said to be music arts.
No.
Yeah,
they're just fairies, and the fairies are what powers these music arts or whatever, creates one.
Yeah,
it just says they appeared. That's it. All right. Wow.
So I think they appear to these really talented musicians, and that's how these people got their powers, because they were all the maestros. They were all the very talented musicians.
All right.
So they just happened to get the luck of the draw.
Yeah. They're controlling all music. We must free the music. Everyone must play. Go, Max. Sing a song right now.
So I don't know. You threw me on
Ambo.
the spot.
Ambo. I'm down with it. I gotta take the music back, guys. Look.
So what was really cool, I also think, was how that whole scenario of him losing his arm and like her coming back to life with the roses sprouting out, wrapping his arm, the fairy going to take a bite of the arm, and her like taking control of that thing. That was a really cool moment, and definitely was not expecting the dude's arm to get blown off, but I'm always a fan of that.
That's the trade, right? To make her powered up, you are going to lose that. And the way that they communicated that she took it, though, was so unique. And like, like she's just this powerful, like otherworldly being. She just chomps. And boom, his arm explodes. Joey, you made a good point about how little he reacted.
Yeah, he was just like kind of like, okay.
You got to keep in mind, like, shock is in a big factor at that moment. Like you lose a hand in real life, you're gonna sit there and be like, okay, I just lost a hand. Like, what the fuck?
You're gonna be like, whoa.
Like the adrenaline that's gonna be pumping in that moment, you losing an entire arm. It's like, oh fuck.
That's fair. I mean, that's what happened when I broke my leg, when I cracked that thing in half. That's pretty much exactly what happened. I remember my dad was freaking out. He was like freaking out, like all these things were going on. I was just trying to watch Flintstones on Boomerang or some shit.
I saw Boomerang actually on I got DirecTV for whatever reason. I saw Boomerang on there still, but now it's playing like Kids Next Door and like kind of stuff.
Nice.
Like cartoons.
That's heartbreaking.
Kind of cool.
That's where it's at, dude. Well, it only makes sense, dude. It was always been about cartoons past, so like it only makes sense that things that we watched 14 years ago are the meta.
How good was Kids Next Door though?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Oh my god.
Yo, you want to know the best thing about this show is that there's no scenes from next week. I am not a fan of scenes from next week. I know you weekly watchers out there, you really like that, but like, I'm gonna watch it anyways.
But you're wrong.
I'm gonna watch it anyways. I don't need a preview of what's gonna happen.
I skip it. Sure.
You think you like it, but you're wrong.
You're wrong.
As soon as it hits title, like end title, it's paused. It's like, okay, on to the next show.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
We got their origin story, and it was sad, just as I predicted.
A wonderful episode. It was done awesome. They were jamming on the part together.
And when she dies, and what he says, like, we were supposed to sing together, like, that got me, dude. and just the way that the actor portrayed that, like, I really believed, you know, that performance, and it was really, really good. And
especially since he was the Debbie Downer the whole time.
Yeah, right. You know, and then it's like his heart got lifted for one time in 10 years, and it's just
but
crushed.
Something I was watching made a very good point. I can't remember what it was or who said it, but like, is it really good acting, or can we just not tell the difference because it's in Japanese?
No, I really believed if someone can convey emotion to me, and I understand what they're meaning, like I can feel that. That is acting.
I remember I was watching something and they were arguing the difference of like subs versus dubs, and they're like, the only reason that you like subs is because you can't tell the difference between good and bad acting because you don't understand their language.
This is false. In my opinion, I think sub actually portrays the serious moments better than dub by far.
Yeah.
And like countless of shows, because I've watched Fire in dub twice and in sub like 5 or 6 times, and like. And the moments where I know where it's supposed to be serious, watching dub, it's always comes off more as lighthearted than I feel the seriousness of like what's going on. You know, like it's just my opinion. I really do think
it's hard to localize things. I did that in China, like talking over someone like a different language, and in anime, I guess it's like a little better but still the way that their mouth is moving is not going to like match up. You have to say things in a shortened time because language doesn't work. You know, you have to say like, oh, okay, you need 2 words to describe this thing that needs a sentence in English. You know, it's stuff like that. So like there is some really good dubbed anime performance, but most of the stuff, like, there's some really good stuff.
Metal Alchemy.
Yeah, dude, really, really good
Samurai
stuff.
Champloo, like
people who I'm not saying anything against dubs, but I'm saying that it might be a little easier to act if the part is written for you and you're, you know, like
I
the
guess
intended actor of this character, you know.
Yeah. My only experience with subs versus dubs is like I was like watching Naruto through. Mm-hmm. Like that first season, if you watch it with like the dubs versus the subs, it's like apples and oranges, and it's extremely heartbreaking if you watch like the difference in the voices.
Mm-hmm. From what to what?
So if you watch Naruto, the first season has been dubbed, and some of the later stuff has been dubbed too, but they're still kind of catching up.
What do you mean, dude? They got everything dubbed.
They have everything.
They have everything
really?
dubbed. My buddy Sean's watching through, like, he's got like 70 episodes left of dub until he's done.
This just goes to show how long it's been since I've watched anime. Back when I was still watching it, I had to switch.
Oh god!
Yeah, we had to switch
already. It's our first fucking podcast. God damn it!
What?
No, it's okay.
Listen, back in my day, we had to watch the subs, and it was
we had to watch the subs.
It was the truth because sub is better than
new stuff. Yeah,
but that's just my opinion because I watch both and
I'm
appreciate both.
I watch both. I appreciate both. My wife is Taiwanese, and has a different language than I do, and it's easy. The best way technically to watch an anime is to have Taiwanese subtitles, like traditional Chinese and English. So that's when I would watch a dub, when I want to watch with my wife. So it's just situational, whatever your
I think the best I've ever watched, though, the best dubbed was when I was in Brazil, I watched The Lion King in Portuguese. And there are just some scenes that translate so well, and it's actually, in my opinion, it's better.
The Lion King in Portuguese, better than the English version.
Let us know in the comments below if you think we should watch The Lion King in Portuguese.
All right, I'll tell you what. If you don't want to watch the whole movie, just skip to the scene where they do the hula, and then Timon charges them. Yeah. I'm telling you, you will not regret it.
Well, what do you guys think is going to happen next week?
I Well, it's not next week. It's gonna be right now on our catch-up episode of Takt Op Destiny that somehow got us to the Lion King. So thank you, Joey. Anyways,
well, what do you guys think is going to happen next week? Which we should be back to normal time, which is pretty exciting because I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the story. It'll be interesting to see if they explain the time gap between like episode 2 and episode 1, how much time it's been since.
Sure, yeah. A consistent timeline is good. But also, I'm just ready for new stories with this character. I've established that they have a tragic backstory. Let's go. Let's go to New York, dude.
Yep. I'm really excited to see more about these the Symphonica people because they all have the music arts as well. And I'm really excited to see if they have different powers or what the deal is. What their full potential is, you know?
Yeah. All right. That wraps it up for episode 2. Thank you for listening. And we're going to move on and go to episode 3 on our Takt Op Destiny catch-up. All right. Well, we just finished watching Takt Op Destiny, which I looked up and found that op is actually short for opus. So I hope you're impressed.
What is opus?
It's a musical term. I think it believes like a song dedicated to or something. Let's look it up.
We need to Google it.
While I'm doing this necessary research in the middle, the beginning of our episode.
No, this is Nerds Declassified Anime Survival Guide, where we find the facts. Damn it. We do the research and we throw it at you.
I got books. It's they're all over my desk. There's papers on the walls. I got tacks. I got sticky notes.
They're fucking damn yarn twisted here and caught there and all over the place.
Exactly.
We're connecting the dots. We're connecting the dots.
Yeah.
Magnum opus. A large and important work of art, music or literature, especially one regarded as the most important work of an artist or writer.
Yeah, like J.D. Salinger's magnum opus was like The Catcher in the Rye. It's like the greatest thing he did. An opus is a separate composition or set of compositions by a particular composer, usually ordered by date of publication.
Pretty cool. So it's
it's a music term. They slipped the music term into their title about the music show.
So what you're saying is it's basically the National Treasure franchise for Nicolas Cage.
Yes, exactly. His magnum opus. What would Nick Cage's magnum opus be? National Treasure?
Con Air.
Con Air.
Con Air is insanely good, but I have to give it to National Treasure. There's just something about that movie that's
so fun.
The movie itself is a national treasure.
All right, so let's get back to talking about episode 3. Episode 3, we basic rundown. Most of it was just kind of like trying to tie together how everything works, right? Like we knew this kind of episode was going to come, where it's like, we need just a bit to explain what's going on, and we can't just have like amazingly animated fights the whole time, though there is still an amazingly animated fight.
I don't know. I thought it was all about that guy showing off his buttonless shirt for whatever reason.
Lenny. We got Lenny and Titan, the new characters. Lenny is a maestro and Titan is his music art. But she went through the regular channel. So I think you were talking about this on our episode 2 review of like how, but we get told how someone becomes a music art by there's a process basically. They're like kind of like computers.
It's like boot camp basically.
Yeah, like a boot camp. So Titan is one of those boot camp. They know how to control the amount of power that they're taking from their maestro. They know, hopefully how to fight and what they're getting into. And Cosette is, she's not Cosette anymore. She's
She's Destiny.
Destiny.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was right about that. That it's not like she's not even all there. She's basically dead.
Cassette is gone. The body of Cassette is there, and this new soul has inhabited it. Destiny.
Yeah.
What was the other one's name again? Leonard and who?
Lenny and Titan. Titan is
Lenny and Titan.
Is the one with the I think Titan might be Joey's favorite character.
She's definitely up there. It's between. So far, I far prefer the music arts than I do their maestros.
Okay.
When she was running around with that, like, the magical 12 gauge and just popping them off left and right like it was nothing.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, and it was nice to see, like, you know, I thought they were all gonna kind of be like these super powered, like, angel, like, divine, you know, laser fighty things, like, you know, like Destiny is when she fights. She's like got this super weapon and all sorts of stuff. But turns out some of them just run around with a 12 gauge shotgun.
Sometimes that's all you need. A 12 gauge and a can-do attitude.
Exactly. And a big, buff, muscular Lenny to say, what does he say? Around. What does he say when he starts? It's showtime!
Showtime.
Yeah. And so we got into what the path of the show are, kind of where I think we're back to where we started out. Maybe not all the way there. Maybe there's like a little bit of time in between. Max, what do you think about the timeline so far?
I think that maybe episode 1 was in the very, very, very near future of what they're doing. Because they said they needed to get to Vegas and then go down and around. So the area they were in reminded me of like a Nevada, like deserty type road. So they got to be like within the first stop of it for episode 1. So I think this was probably like maybe a day or two prior to episode 1, what we just saw today.
Yeah, I'm thinking that guy Lenny is going to be. He's going to be like, oh, I'm going to go with you guys. And then he's going to learn more about what's going on with Destiny and Takt.
He's going to be there the whole time, too. You gotta remember.
No, I know, but I think...
with them, but not fully.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be cutting that trip short because he's going to be like, I have to figure out what's going on with this.
Yeah, he's got to pull a Gandalf.
That's literally what I was thinking. That is exactly. I was like, he's gonna be like, flat, you fools.
Yes, I must go research.
Right, from now on, Lenny will be referred to as Sexy Gandalf.
Dude, Lenny is Sexy Gandalf. He comes in, he dumps a bunch of exposition, he whoops some ass, and then he says, "It's showtime."
He says, I'm gonna head out.
Cutscene to a day later when he's making food in the kitchen, hits you ara.
Which is that ara, dude? Literally, the first thing you hear from this sexy ass man is this is the introduction we get to Lenny, right? The
motorcycle.
Takt wakes
Showtime.
Up. Oh, we just had a terrible battle where these guys hopefully saved us. Wake up. First thing you see is ass. Framed perfectly. Got an anime angle of Lenny's ass. And he turns around and says, ara ara. Like, come on, that's boner juice right there.
That is
what it
service.
Who directed
something everyone can enjoy.
Who directed what's it called? Justice League. Who directed that movie the first time? Not the Snyder Cut, the original. What was it? Joss Whedon. It reminds me of like Joss Whedon's cut because there's just like 10 minutes of zoomed in on like Wonder Woman's butt in every other scene. This show is the Snyder Cut.
No,
or the Whedon cut.
The Whedon cut and whatever.
Yeah, it's the Whedon cut. It's just unnecessary butt zooms.
That's just every anime though. The angles are always awkward, especially when it's around like little girls. But anyways, nobody's in high school yet. Max, how long do you think till we find an academy or something like that?
Probably closer to New York, some sort of like boarding academy for like the music arts, you know, that we might be introduced to.
What I really want to know is how are the music arts? So if they're trained, I want to know how they're selected. Why are all these music arts like
they volunteer? Is it like
young adult females?
Thing? Yeah. does it have to be a female? I don't know about that just yet. It seems so far that the maestros are all male and the music arts are female. I'm not sure if age has anything to do with it, but the two that we've met so far have seemed mostly young. As far as like the fallout of Takt kind of finding out what had happened, they explain that they take the time and a little bit, to explain what happened when she died and how she is an irregular music art. So
the first of the kind,
go ahead.
The stone, possibly the what fairy thing we saw within the stone was like, hey, I'm gonna become a music art, this is my time to shine type thing. Other than being trained into that, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know.
I'm also,
where I'm going with that.
Go ahead.
I'm also curious because she looks obviously way more dramatic than what was her name? Titan. Yeah, she looks dramatic. Like her outfit changed and everything. I know how he said that she kind of stays in that form. So I'm wondering if the reason that she's just so much more powerful is because she's feeding off his like life force as opposed because the other ones he seemed like surprised he was feeding off of his life force. So I'm wondering if they don't all do that, or if the reason that she's just seems like she's so much more powerful, whether she's flying around and doing all this cool transformation stuff, is because she can pull from his life force.
Yeah, let's reference back to the episode.
Maybe because the other music arts that were chosen aren't dead versus her being dead, type.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and did you notice
technically keeping her like that body at least alive for the destiny? So like he says at 1753 of episode 3, Letty says that no normal music arts don't do this. So their whole kind of deal is completely irregular and nothing. I don't think any of the rules are going to apply to any of the other music arts. And their kind of relationship. So any theories we had about that being like similar at all, this is a completely irregular thing. It's one of those like, oh, they're the chosen ones or something like that kind of writing.
Yeah,
I do like that our Takt, even though he didn't really like, I guess he didn't really react as much, but they were just trying to get through so much exposition in this episode. They're just like, okay, so this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this is where you gotta go, this is what you gotta do. Well,
I think he just has the resolve already from when he lost his father, because he was like, I'm not gonna let them take anything else from me. So he was like, okay, these motherfucking B2s. Well, but in return he got Destiny in Cassette's like appearance and form, and with Destiny in her current state, I think he said it while they were eating breakfast together, that she wouldn't be able to last if she stays the way she is and doesn't tune the sister in the symphonica. So he's like, all right, well, I'm not going to let them take Destiny from me, like,
I can't lose anything more. I've lost everything. Already. And then the moment when he loses his house is like, it's fine. I'm over it already. And it just shows that like
the only thing he cared about within the house was the piano, and the piano was lost at the event that took place in episode 2. So now that it's like, okay, we got to go to New York, there's no piano, like blow the house up. Like a typical anime fashion, like how it was in Full Metal Alchemist and other type shows.
Yeah, burn it down, motherfucker.
Burn it down. There's no turning back. Like, this is what we're doing.
I was wondering, I was like, because even we were watching Platinum End, he was like, the protagonist was just depressed again. He's like, I don't care. He's ready to lose it all.
Yeah, right. It's like how many depressed protagonists do I got to sit with here? Like,
all the
but at least I wouldn't say that Takt. Do you think that Takt is depressed? No. Like maybe.
Yeah, no, he's living in his own mess. The only reason it's clean is because of Cassette was cleaning for him, and so was what's her face, April, Amy,
Anna.
Yeah, Anna. That's the one. Anna. They were both cleaning the house and basically taking care of him and like forcing him to survive.
Yeah. Well, they were there to help him through. He was definitely depressed.
Well, yeah, he lost
year
his
span
dad.
Since his dad died.
Yeah.
Now dad in a world where he, a magnificent music player, can't play music.
Yeah.
You know, I don't blame the dude.
Yeah, it's fine, definitely. But like, now, do you think that he has this kind of mission? Do you think that like
he has like more resolve? He
seems a little bit like he's he's changed as a character already for us.
Yeah. Did you also notice how his eyes change, but none of the other Maestro's eyes change?
Well, yeah, that's because they combine their life forces together, Hondo.
Yeah.
So I wonder if
Cosette's eyes have like he live on in him or something, because like she's got blue eyes originally.
Well, I think they link up, so it's kind of like what what she sees, he can see. So I think they're literally they're linking up right there. And I wonder if that's also why his mood seems to be getting better, is because they're sort of feeding off of each other, and it's not necessarily one-way parasitic.
Well, yeah, she's got blue eyes. He does not have blue eyes, but as soon as he's in battle mode, he's got those blue eyes.
Yeah, they turn the green rings around him too.
Yeah. Very cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, like they're linked.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, already like I think everybody will agree with us, if you guys are watching this show as well, that the Syndicate, or whatever they're called, the Symphonic, they're up to no good for sure.
It's definitely something going on, because they hinted at that with introducing a character that did not have a voice line, possibly just a smirk and a laugh.
Yeah.
And the tuning fork that to me seemed like a beacon for D2s to come to due to coloration. Was there until it was destroyed. And then once it was destroyed, it faded, and they don't know why that happened. And if you don't
remember when that was, I don't blame you, because it's literally like a 2-second or 5-second.
Right after that first fight scene. There, I will pull it up for you.
Yeah.
All right. I think that there's just like, I don't think all of the Symphonica are bad people. I think that there's a few bad ones in there. Yeah. I think it's going to be like, you brought up Lord of the Rings. I think it's going to be like Sauron versus.
No, see, okay, there's this disco chick with the flayed jeans on
in the anime openings, because everything's been spoiled in the opening. She's hooked up with that blonde guy, I think. Yeah. So she's got disco shoes. She's cool, but she breaks that tuning fork,
and it disappears right before the intro. Wow. So it's like, who was that, and why is that tuning fork? Is that what calls the D2s to some of these areas?
Started to speculate that this tragic event that happened in Boston was caused by his, the Symphonic, one thing that he's a part of. So that goes to show you that, like, if he's already speculating, like, if he was part of it somehow, why is he even speculating?
No, Lenny is definitely cool.
Yeah, no, Lenny's bae.
Lenny is cool. He's trying to figure out what's going on. He's trying to stop the corruption within the thing,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So
he's definitely.
Let's talk about. So we think they're like what, Northern California or Portland?
Yeah,
because they have to go to Vegas, right? And then they're gonna bounce down, and basically they show this map in the episode of
at 11:56 the map comes out.
Yeah.
So the blockade area looks to be in the center of the United States, which is a dead zone filled with D2 poison. In that case, we'll have to go to Las Vegas and then travel south.
Mm-hmm.
And then go to New Orleans along the Gulf of Mexico. So it definitely seems like California, like West Coast type living.
Yeah, I think they're trying to go from the West Coast to the East Coast.
West Coast represent. That being said, I mean, we're into the meat of the bones. They took 2 episodes to kind of get it done. And at the beginning, I thought it was very interesting to see him like lose control. Like, you could definitely say he was like pissed.
Yeah.
and they started
a little bit of a rage moment.
Destiny is technically like he says he uses the word devouring him, which would go along with that kind of theme of when she first bit him and bit his arm off.
Mm-hmm.
She's slowly devouring him, like over time, and are they somehow using that shit? I don't know, guys. What do you think? Like, do you think
his life force is the power for her?
Yeah.
The more she started shooting off rounds and missing is when it was his arm started bleeding and his the red started moving throughout the body. So I wonder if like the more he sacrifices, the stronger she gets. So like, is he gonna sacrifice another arm in one of these fights for her to get an insane power up?
He just goes,
I don't know.
No arm. And
I think he's just
with his mouth.
I don't know. I picture him as just like a portable battery that's recharged up with snacks, and I think she's the same way.
They're both recharged with food.
Yeah, because remember one of the first episodes. Well, that's why I think he's more of like a battery. I don't think she's necessarily like she might be feeding off of him, but I don't think it's like a.
You don't think there's a limit to how much she can feed off of him?
I think there is a limit, but I think you have to. I don't think like once you go down to a certain point, I think it recharges back up. So like in order to hit the limit, you would have to like
return.
Yeah, I think he would pass out and she would shut down, or he would pass out and die, and then she would die as well.
Well,
but
that's
I don't.
What happens.
I think.
Yeah, she.
Yeah.
I think in the beginning she whoops ass for the first like minute and a half. And she's it's just well animated, guys. Like, if you haven't watched this show, just the animation of the fights are just it's a masterclass by Madhouse. And
lots of large scale stuff going on, which I feel like everybody can enjoy.
And I feel like someone has to say it. If you're doing it right, you only need a minute and a half. Anything past that is just showing off. What?
I don't know.
I'm just talking about fighting.
That one's for debate. That was up for debate.
Nothing else.
Okay, guys, so let's get to the part of our show where we discuss predictions. And this is the end of our catch-up. So coming next week, we're going to be doing episode 4 of Takt Opus Destiny and episode 4 of Platinum End. And we might sneak another one in there for you. But that's the plan so far.
I have no idea, man. I've been wrong. I've been right. I don't know how to feel about what's going to happen for the future. I'm excited to see the development between the power share of Takt and Destiny.
Yeah.
Or cassette, if you will.
You brought up a good way of like what, you know, it's anime, right? So we know.
I'm excited to see how the power is going to evolve.
Yeah,
and
how's
like,
it going to evolve? How's it going to be bigger and better so that she can face that big bad guy or whatever?
I'm a little worried that they're going to end up, maybe not in the next few episodes, but by the end of this, I have a strong feeling that Sexy Gandalf is going to get killed.
Oh, Sexy Gandalf. I think he might be dead for sure. Maybe even the next episode. Like, maybe Sexy Gandalf is going to find out some shit and he's going to get whacked. Yep. That's what's going to happen.
Okay.
Ooh, I wonder what that would look like. Would they fight each other? Can they fight each other?
The cart's 100%, because it's just how the conductor, like, points it. Because when, like, they use conducting sticks, whatever they're called, wands, you know, it kind of seemed like they were able to focus up on battle more, so maybe they could be like, okay, go fight this other music cart and kill their conductor.
Yeah.
And then maybe that'll happen. And then I wonder, too, what'll happen to the music cart once the conductor's out. Would they then assume control with their new conductor?
That's what I was just wondering, too.
Bond, right? Like,
you're right. You're right.
A certain way. So I'm guessing we'll find out more about that when we get to the Symphonica, and that's what we're all kind of waiting for. But I really hope that they don't do country music. So
I hope the next episode I truly hope that there's an episode of nothing but country music. I hope it's just
I hope they don't.
And you know what? I hope it's stadium country music, so you hate it even more.
Oh no!
It's just gonna be Luke Bryan.
We'll leave it in the comments below. What's a music genre that you hope not to see with this series?
Yeah, definitely.
It's gonna be 20 minutes of Luke Bryan doing his little air hump as he sings.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was pretty harsh. I gotta say, a little bit of my heart. The last thing I want to get in about this, a little bit of my heart died when I found out that Cassette was like actually dead. You know,
I agree, because it was pretty cool to see that happiness between Takt. The first time he was been able to have in 10 years, and his girl dies, and now he's stuck with this thing that wants to devour his life force.
And her sister, it's like still so wholeheartedly believes that she's gonna come back.
Character, such a tragic character. It's just that she's just holding on to that like minor fraction of hope that. But she was told, everybody was told straight out that Cassette is dead.
Cassette is no longer with us.
So you know, and the fact that Anna's even, you know, she's taking care of her sister. Now her sister, it's not really her sister. You know, I'm interested to see like what kind of work they'll do with her, because she's just gonna, for now she's just that beacon of hope. But how long can she keep that up? You know, believably, when everything is just like terrible around her. You know.
Yeah, but I like how she cared more about the house than he did.
Yeah,
she seems like almost seems like the voice of reason.
It was Takt's house, and he's just like, oh well, I'm over it.
Well, you know what? To be fair, I guess they did just lose their house, because she said our house was just beside the car that's still running. You know, so
yeah. Well,
she was like, "Hey, nice."
Too. Remember, she said, "Yeah, our house got destroyed."
So she was like, at that point, she's like, "Shit, now I don't have a place to live, because my dead sister, who was possessed by a stone fairy, just blew that up."
Yeah. Well, they're on their way to the New York Symphonica. I'm gonna. With no further ado, we're going to wrap up this episode. Please, guys, let us know what you think of the podcast so far. How was your day? And what's your favorite number? Thank you very much. And we're going to do a sign-off thing, okay? So Max, Joey, you're gonna get one word. That's going to be your sign-off word. Ready? Joey, go.
This is too much pressure.
Okay, Max, go.
Is what I'm saying. I'm just trying to be here and be like, yo, y'all have a great day. Tough out.
And then my sign off is, y'all have a great day, and I hope your pans aren't sticky.
How come we get one word? We get one word, and you get a goddamn monologue.
That's it. I'm done with this call. I'm done with this.